my extended essay, I did chemical weapons and human rights. So my subject was the international community's response to the chemical weapons. Why I picked this topic? Well, for my IA, I did the common rules, which were bad people that killed thousands and millions and stuff. And then for my EE, first I chose to do Saddam Hussein, who killed thousands of people with the use of chemical weapons. So my original question was, how, to what extent, did Saddam's use of chemical weapons lead to his image as a tyrant? But as it went on, my supervisor recommended I change to something else. If I was concentrating on chemical weapons, to do something else. So after changing my research question like 4 times, I ended up with this one, which was, what has been the most effective method that the international community learned from Iraq, Israel, and Syria to prevent countries from using chemical weapons and violate human rights? Okay, how did my research question change? Well, since my research question went from history, from the field of study of history, to world studies, and to later, presently, to human rights, it went from concentrating on one person, to concentrating on many countries, to concentrating on many countries, and what they do to prevent, to what they've done to violate human rights. So my EE, besides being that, was that first I explained what is the international community. Second was, what programs did the international community create to stop the use of chemical weapons? And third was, what are human rights? So, the type of sources I mainly used were internet websites such as Human Rights Watch and other like articles created or written in the Middle East, such as Marif or Al Jazeera, which I'm not sure if it's exactly there, but still. My supervisor advised me to change it plenty of times just to be able to finally fit what I was really interested in. But since it's not exactly something concerning chemical weapons, my supervisor recommended to look at the UN, which has to do not exactly with chemical weapons, but human rights. And since the use of chemical weapons violates human rights, she thought that would match my topic. So, barriers I encountered was I'll try to focus on 3 countries: Iraq, Syria, and Israel. On Syria, I found plenty of information because they're on the news right now that they were using chemical weapons, and then they were told to take care of it, not to use them anymore. Iraq, well, we all know what Saddam Hussein did to the Kurds and to the Iranians during the Iraq-Iran war. But Israel was a barrier because since they're very pro-U.S. United States, there are not many articles that are against them. Because I searched many articles saying chemical weapons in Israel, but I couldn't find anything. But after plenty of meetings with my supervisor, she recommended I started searching for white phosphorus, the type of chemical weapons. Once I searched white phosphorus in Israel, I found plenty of articles, even pro-Israel people were writing badly about Israel because they thought that the use of white phosphorus against people on the Gaza Strip and many other places was just not right. That was a lack of human rights. So, back to my EE. Well, this EE was not that difficult, but not that easy either. Trying to write 3,500 words about one topic is pretty difficult. But once you divide it, evenly divide into different subtopics, it becomes easier. First, what is the international community? I just went in depth into what is the international community considered? Like, what do they consist of? I found the international community is just basically like the UN, which is an organization created internationally to prevent the violation of human rights. So to do this, the international community or the UN or any other organization created programs such as although it's like the Organization for the Prevention of Prohibition of Chemical Weapons, or the International Criminal Court, which although doesn't really consist of just persecuting people who use chemical weapons, they have persecuted someone who has them. They have persecuted someone like Saddam Hussein, who his charges were crimes against humanity for using chemical weapons. And my third was human rights. What is the point of human rights in this investigation? Since regular weapons cause harm, that's fine according to the Geneva Protocol written in the 40s. But since chemical weapons are use less amount of chemicals than what they used to, they cause a lot more death and damage. So that's why human rights and chemical weapons are connected. So as my conclusion, I investigated which of the different programs and actions that the international community did was more effective to stop the use of it. My conclusion, I said the Geneva Protocol was the best because although it stopped the use of chemical weapons, it wasn't able to stop the manufacturing, production, and distribution of them. So, although the international community did all they could to stop the use of them, they did, but they couldn't stop the production of them. So, this problem of chemical weapons is still out there. In Syria, although they were told not to, well, they were told to get rid of them. Supposedly they're sending it out on a boat to destroy them, but there has been no news if they were actually destroyed or not. So to this day, there's still chemical weapons out there.